This is the first PenSpring tutorial of a series of tutorials. This is the detailed version. There's also a fast version if you'd like to have it sped up. By clicking on the Start button, hopefully you've become familiar with the first page. You enter your name and your email address. Your email address will serve as your username. Then enter your password and agree to the user agreement. In short, the user agreement protects you that your creative content belongs to you. And also please avoid pornographic or illicit material. This site is created for the good, uplifting creativity that you can generate for others. Clicking submit, then you have just created your account and you have full access to do what you'd like to do with any edits you have. And be sure you know too that anything you upload here is private. We don't sell your information, we keep it safe, and your work is also copyrighted. As you enter, it's copyrighted in the sense of being able to have timestamps of when you've entered this and how it's developing, and that can be a defense for your intellectual properties. We've clicked on Document to add a new work. We've given a title, we've chosen the text or native language, which will be useful when we translate later, as there's a machine translation to assist the translators. Then we choose how we enter our work into PenSpring. We've chosen to upload a file. This will maintain your formatting, coloring, and images perfectly. We realize that might be too stringent. You may just want to have text, so you can just copy and paste text from an email, from any other source that you're working on, or you can just start writing. Now this second section is determining how you want to enter your work. This really just has to do with whether your work should be split up into chapters or sections. And there's an automated process in PenSpring to do that for you. If it's a little more complex, then there's tools to help you split it up yourself, hopefully easily. In this case, we choose a single document. Also, this PenSpring is created to present to your editors your work in the format that best fits your finished product, like a small paperback book. You'd want them to read it narrow with the font and all that you've chosen so they can have the feel of it. So as they're changing it for the flow, they can give you the best response possible for that type of work. So we've gone on. We're going to upload our work. We decide to choose a file that might be a Word document, an OpenOffice, a WordPerfect, a text document, or a web page, HTML page. If you're working with a different word processor, you can usually there's an option to choose to save as a Word document. Then you can upload it here and your format will be preserved. We've chosen a test document. This is a simple document with some text, a single page, has an image on it. So to finish, we can choose to go back to continue to add additional documents or books that we're working on before we invite editors, or we can choose to invite editors right away. We can also choose in option C to go to our text for ourselves and start editing it, which would be the same kind of tools that your editors would have. You can edit it there. Although PenSpring is intended that you would do your heavy composing in a Word document and then upload it here to share it with your editors, and you can respond to their suggestions and changes. You can also search for a writers group, but in this case we're going to invite our editors now. Notice on the right side we have the option to search for existing users by location, by a PenSpring score, or by the genre that they're interested in writing in or editing in. In our case, we're just going to look for the name of existing users. We'll type in J-O. Notice that it immediately starts searching for you. We see a bunch of Joes down below, so we're choosing a couple just for our purposes. Otherwise, you would fill out the name, first name, last name, and email address, and the native language of the person you're inviting, if that's a brand new user. So notice the users at the top right, and we can continue to accumulate users before we grant access. On the left, we see that the Grant All Access button is there. That is most useful when you have many works listed below, so it'll give access immediately. So clicking on that would be, in essence, doing the same as clicking on Add Access as you see here. In this case, we only have one section. It's only one single document. The native language is there. But let's show you too how if we choose Filipino as a language to translate into, we can grant access to that to our users as well. So we can add additional note. We don't need to add any additional note if we don't care to. It already gives enough information to the users of what's going on. We're granting them access to that particular document. If a new user is invited, they will be given an email with a link that they click on. They can fill in their own username, which is their email address, which will be partially filled in, and a password, and they will immediately have access and see your work. So notice then we're back to the My Works page. You see the work there. We're going to choose to go to the Edit Review option on the left, which will be remembered the next time we come back. So if we want to click on a different work and continue in that mode. See, we come to the Edit Review page. This is the crux of PenSpring. Now notice, on the left, we won't be doing our editing here. We will click on a sentence, which then takes that sentence to the middle box, which we can then edit. We just replaced small with little. Notice up above on the top right that has the Go to Next Sentence switch on. That means when you click on Save, it'll automatically go to the next sentence. So that, coupled with a shortcut key, you can edit without the mouse. If you hold Control and hit the Enter key, that'll be just as if you had clicked on the Save button. So you can go from one sentence to the next sentence to the next sentence, making changes if you want to, but PenSpring is smart enough to know that if you didn't make a change, there will not be an edit saved. So you see at the bottom of the page, you would see the edits of anything that has been done with the track changes. Any strikeouts are those that things have been deleted. Anything underlined is new. We invite you to see the additional tutorials of PenSpring.